The phone vibrated in my pocket like a hornet trapped in fabric, buzzing insistently against my thigh as I hunched over the conference table, mid-pitch to a room full of stone-faced executives. Sweat beaded on my forehead under the fluorescent glare, the air thick with the scent of stale coffee and printer ink. I ignored it at first. Work came before everything, that's what Sarah always said, her voice echoing in my head like a mocking refrain. But it kept going, a relentless drone that sliced through my words. Excusing myself with a forced smile, I stepped into the hallway, the carpet muffling my footsteps like a guilty secret. "Hello," I answered, my voice clipped, expecting another client crisis. "Mr. Harlan. This is Principal Vargas from Willow Creek Elementary." Her tone was sharp, edged with concern that prickled my skin. "Your daughter, Emily, hasn't been picked up. It's been 3 hours since dismissal. We've tried your wife's number multiple times. No answer. Is everything all right?" The world tilted. 3 hours. Sarah was supposed to get her today. She had the day off, for God's sake. My heart slammed against my ribs, a cold fist twisting in my gut. What? No, that can't be right. "I'll be there in 10 minutes. I hung up, my mind reeling, fury bubbling up like bile. How could she forget? Our 8-year-old, alone on the curb, waiting in the autumn chill. I grabbed my keys, the metal biting into my palm, and bolted for the parking garage, the echo of my footsteps chasing me like accusations. The drive was a blur of honking horns and red lights that mocked my urgency. Rain slashed against the windshield, wipers screeching in protest, mirroring the chaos in my head. Emily, my little girl with her gap-toothed smile and endless questions, abandoned. Sarah had been distant lately, her touches fleeting, her eyes averted during dinner conversations that devolved into silence. I chalked it up to stress from her job at the gallery, the late nights she claimed were networking events. But now, this was unforgivable. My knuckles whitened on the steering wheel, resentment coiling tight in my chest. If she was out there screwing around while our daughter waited. I screeched into the school lot, tires spitting gravel. Principal Vargas stood under the awning, Emily huddled beside her, clutching her backpack like a shield. Her face lit up when she saw me, but her eyes were red-rimmed, cheeks streaked with dried tears. "Daddy!" she cried, running into my arms. I scooped her up, her small body trembling against mine, the scent of crayons and apple juice grounding me amid the storm. "I'm so sorry, sweetie," I murmured, stroking her hair, my voice thick with emotion. "Mommy must have gotten held up." Vargas cleared her throat, her expression a mask of professional sympathy laced with judgment. "We left messages for Mrs. Harlan. Perhaps there's been an emergency." "Yeah, perhaps," I replied, the word tasting like ash. I thanked her curtly and bundled Emily into the car, her chatter filling the silence as we drove home. Something about a playground fight and a new art project. But my mind was elsewhere, replaying every odd moment from the past months. Sarah's phone glued to her hand, the unexplained charges on our credit card for hotel brunches, the way she'd flinch when I asked about her day. Home was a 2-story colonial in the suburbs, its white picket fence a lie we told ourselves about domestic bliss. The house was dark when we pulled in, no lights in the windows, no warmth spilling from the kitchen. Emily scampered inside, flipping on switches, her innocence a stark contrast to the dread pooling in my stomach. "Mommy," she called, her voice echoing off the hardwood floors. No answer. I checked the garage, her car was gone. My phone buzzed again, a text from Sarah. "Running late. Gallery emergency. Pick up M. Sent 2 hours ago." Liar. The school had called 3 hours past dismissal. She'd forgotten entirely. Anger surged, hot and unyielding, but I swallowed it for Emily's sake. "How about pizza for dinner, kiddo?" I said, forcing a grin as I dialed the delivery place. She cheered, oblivious, while I paced the living room, the carpet fibers crunching under my shoes like brittle bones. As Emily devoured her slice in front of cartoons, I slipped upstairs to our bedroom. The air smelled faintly of Sarah's perfume, jasmine and deceit. I rifled through her nightstand, guilt gnawing at me like a rat in the walls. What was I doing? This wasn't me. But there, buried under receipts and lip balm, was a burner phone. My hands shook as I powered it on. No passcode, as if she didn't care if I found it. Messages flooded the screen, all from Mark. Can't wait to see you tonight. Same place. Your husband suspects nothing. Perfect. Love the way you taste after a long day. Bile rose in my throat, humiliation crashing over me like a wave. Mark. Her gallery partner. The one she'd introduced at that holiday party. His hand lingering too long on her waist. Photos attached. Sarah in lingerie I'd never seen, her smile seductive, eyes alight with a passion she'd long withheld from me. Heartbreak splintered through me, sharp and unrelenting. 10 years of marriage, a child we'd fought infertility for. Reduced to this? I sank onto the bed, the mattress creaking under my weight, tears burning my eyes. Denial whispered, maybe it's not what it looks like. But the timestamps matched her late nights. Resentment festered, turning to obsession. How long? Why? Was I not enough? Emily's laughter floated up from downstairs, a lifeline pulling me back. I couldn't let this destroy her. But as I deleted the evidence, no saved screenshots first, a cold resolve settled in. Sarah would pay. Not with violence. I wasn't that man. But with something sharper. Exposure, ruin, the slow unraveling of her perfect facade. I tucked Emily in that night, reading her favorite story about brave knights and dragons, my voice steady despite the storm inside. "Daddy, where's Mommy?" she asked, her eyelids drooping. "Working late, pumpkin. She'll be home soon." Lies but necessary. As she drifted off, I sat in the dark, the hallway clock ticking like a countdown. Sarah's key turned in the lock around midnight, her heels clicking softly on the tile. "Alex," she whispered, slipping into the bedroom. She looked flawless, hair tousled just so, makeup fresh. Fresh from him. I feigned sleep, my body rigid under the covers, pulse thundering. She undressed quietly, the rustle of fabric a taunt. As she slid in beside me, her skin warm and treacherous, I fought the urge to confront her. Not yet. Revenge needed planning, precision. Let her think she was safe. The next morning, over coffee, she was all apologies. "I'm so sorry about yesterday." The gallery had a flood. Total chaos. Her eyes met mine, wide and innocent, but I saw the flicker of deceit. "No worries," I said, smiling through gritted teeth. "I handled it." The words were laced with unspoken fury, but she didn't notice, pecking my cheek before rushing out. Alone, I called in sick to work, the lie easy now. I drove to the gallery, parking across the street in the shadow of a maple tree, leaves crunching underfoot as I waited. Hours passed, the air growing crisp, my coffee cooling in the cup holder. Then there, Sarah and Mark slipping out the back, his arm around her waist. They ducked into a nearby cafe, laughing like teenagers. Humiliation burned anew, but so did purpose. I snapped photos from afar, the camera shutter a silent vow. Back home, I hacked her email, password Emily123. How predictable. Finding reservations for a weekend getaway. My mind raced with fantasies. Confronting them in the act, smashing his face, but no. That was too crude. I needed something that would haunt her, mirror the betrayal she'd inflicted. Guilt crept in as I planned. What about Emily? Divorce would shatter her world. But staying? Impossible. Doubt gnawed. Was I overreacting? Maybe therapy, forgiveness. But the images of her with him replayed, fueling the fire. No, she had to feel this pain. That evening I cooked dinner. Her favorite pasta, the sauce simmering with garlic and herbs, a domestic trap. Emily chattered about school, Sarah nodding absently, her phone buzzing under the table. "Work," she said, silencing it. After bedtime I poured wine, the glasses clinking like toasts to deception. "Rough day?" I asked, voice neutral. She sighed, swirling her glass. "Yeah, but it's fine." Her eyes avoided mine, fingers tracing the stem. I leaned in, heart pounding. Tell me about Mark. You two seem close. She froze, wine sloshing. What? He's just a colleague. But her voice cracked, a hairline fracture in her composure. Suspicion bloomed into certainty. As she excused herself to the bathroom, I slipped the burner phone back into her drawer, but not before forwarding messages to my email. The seed was planted. Now to water it. Days blurred into a haze of feigned normalcy. I smiled at her jokes, kissed her goodbye, all while gathering intel. Hired a PI discreetly. Cash from our joint account, ironic. Reports came. Hotel receipts, whispered phone calls. Obsession gripped me. I barely slept, the bed a battlefield where her presence mocked me. One night, Emily woke screaming from a nightmare. Monsters under the bed, she sobbed. As I comforted her, Sarah stirred but didn't rise. Handle it, Alex, she mumbled. Rage flared. Even now, she couldn't be bothered. In the dim glow of the nightlight, Emily's tear-streaked face hardened my resolve. This wasn't just about me, it was for her. The plan crystallized. I'd expose them at the gallery's annual gala, where donors and critics mingled under crystal chandeliers. Sarah had begged me to attend, for support. Perfect. I'd hack the projector, flash their messages for all to see. Humiliation, professional ruin, poetic. But moral conflict twisted inside. Was I becoming the monster? Fear whispered of consequences. Custody battles, Emily's confusion. Yet resentment drowned it out. She deserved this. As the gala approached, tension coiled like a spring. Subtle hints. I accidentally left a hotel receipt on the counter. She paled, stuffing it away. Where'd this come from? Found it in your purse, I lied smoothly. Her eyes darted, suspicion mirroring mine. The night before we argued over nothing. Dinner burned, tempers raw. You're never here. I shouted, the words slipping out. She rolled her eyes. Like you're Mr. Present. But guilt flickered in her gaze. In bed I lay awake, planning every detail. Tomorrow vengeance. Cold, calculated, irreversible. The gala ballroom pulsed with opulent energy. Crystal glasses tinkling like wind chimes, laughter bubbling over the hum of string quartets. Satin gowns whispered against polished marble floors, the air heavy with perfumes and ambition. Sarah glided through the crowd in a red dress that hugged her curves, her arm linked with mine, a performance for the elite. Mark lingered nearby, schmoozing donors, his eyes flicking to her like a thief casing a mark. I smiled, teeth gritted, my laptop tucked in my bag like a loaded gun. Excited? Sarah asked, squeezing my hand. Her touch sent revulsion crawling up my spine, but I nodded, the lie seamless. Absolutely. Your big night. Inside, turmoil raged. Heartbeat erratic, palms slick. This was it, the culmination of weeks of quiet fury. The PI's final report burned in my pocket. Photos of them in a park, Emily's favorite, as if mocking our family outings. Heartbreak resurfaced, raw and aching. How could she? As the presentations began, I excused myself to the bathroom, slipping into the AV room. The technician, bribed with a crisp 100, looked the other way. I plugged in, fingers flying over keys, uploading the slideshow. Innocuous art slides interspersed with damning texts, blurred nudes, timestamps. It would play during Sarah's speech, her words of inspiration undercut by betrayal. Back in the hall, doubt assaulted me. What if Emily suffered? Guilt clawed. I was destroying her mother. But resentment surged. Sarah had destroyed us first. Obsession whispered, do it. For justice. Sarah took the stage, spotlight bathing her in ethereal light. Thank you all for supporting local artists. Her voice was confident, charismatic. The crowd applauded. My thumb hovered over the remote app on my phone. Then a twist. Mark approached me in the shadows, his cologne cloying. Alex, right? Sarah's told me so much. His smirk was predatory, hand extended. I shook it, grip iron. Has she? Like what? He leaned in, breath hot. How you're distant. Workaholic. She needs more. Manipulation dripped from his words, heightening my rage. Really? I murmured, cold resolve hardening. As Sarah's speech peaked, I hit play. The screen flickered. First start. Then a message. Can't stop thinking about last night. Leave him already. Gasps rippled. Sarah faltered, eyes widening. Photos flashed, her in his arms, hotel bedsheets tangled. Chaos erupted. Whispers turned to murmurs. Donors shifting uncomfortably. Sarah's face crumpled. Humiliation etched in every line. What? How? She stammered, microphone amplifying her panic. Mark bolted for the exit, but I blocked him subtly, guests swarming. Going somewhere. I hissed, suppressed rage boiling over. Security ushered Sarah off stage, tears streaming. She spotted me, eyes blazing with accusation. You did this. I met her gaze, voice low. You did this to us. Heartbreak mingled with triumph, but guilt lingered. Had I gone too far? The drive home was silent, Emily with a sitter. Sarah sobbed in the passenger seat, mascara streaking like war paint. How long have you known? Long enough. My words were ice. The school call was the last straw. Forgetting our daughter for him. She recoiled. It wasn't like that. Love you. Mark was a mistake. Liar. Resentment choked me. You planned to leave. She shook her head, desperation raw. No. I ended it weeks ago. That getaway. Cancelled. I was trying to fix us. Doubt flickered. Was she manipulating? But her eyes held truth, layered with regret. Inner conflict tore at me. Had my obsession blinded me? At home she packed a bag, movements frantic. I'll stay at my sister's. We need space. Fine. But as she left, Emily's door creaked open. Mommy. Our daughter stood there, rubbing her eyes, confusion etching her face. Sarah knelt, hugging her. Just a trip, sweetie. Back soon. Her voice broke, guilt mirroring mine. Alone with Emily, I tucked her back in, stories faltering. Is Mommy mad at you? She asked. No, at herself. Moral grayness weighed heavy. Revenge felt hollow now, consequences looming. Divorce papers, custody fights. Days later, the twist deepened. A knock at the door, police. Mr. Harlan. We're investigating a complaint from Mark Thompson. Hacking, defamation. My stomach dropped. Sarah. No, Mark retaliating. But then her text, I'm sorry. He forced me into it at first. Blackmail. I couldn't tell you. Shock rippled. Betrayal layered. Not just affair but coercion. The PI confirmed. Mark's history of harassment, Sarah's emails pleading to stop. Obsession shifted to regret. I'd ruined her without knowing the full truth. Rushing to her sisters, I found her broken, eyes hollow. Why didn't you say? I demanded, voice trembling. Fear. Shame. I thought I could handle it. Her confession poured out. Mark's threats to expose old debts, forcing intimacy. Heartbreak for both. Hers from violation, mine from blindness. We talked through the night, rain pattering like tears on the window. Forgiveness. Tentative. Therapy loomed, but resolve formed. Not against her, but him. Together we built a case. Evidence I'd gathered turned weapon against Mark. Arrest followed, his empire crumbling. Poetic justice, but with unexpected consequence. Our bond, forged in fire, strengthened. Emily's laughter returned. Family dinners genuine. Revenge's pursuit revealed deeper truths. Betrayal's roots in pain, vengeance's cost in humanity. In the end, we emerged scarred but whole. The school's call a distant echo of the storm we'd weathered.